Need a horn and drum roll.
Never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches. Talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th and inches.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody who's here with me tonight. Unique show tonight, nothing too special, not too much news, but there's a little bit of stuff will go on in terms of Florida State. But the Knicks have opened their season, and right now we are beating the Pacers 51-50. The Fighting Willie Taggarts are playing Memphis in a bowl game. They're losing. You got other Celtics. Big game of sport, big night of sports tonight. So we're gonna be doing all of that tonight. But as always, thank you for tuning in. And I'm not gonna waste too much time. So, what is any big news? There's not really any big news. Only thing we had 2 transfers announced today. If you're not aware, FSU has 2 transfers that were announced today. Leonard Warner has decided to transfer, and Tommy Martin. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even know Tommy Martin was an extra punter on the team. I had no idea that guy was even on the team. Alex Monstranamano has been doing an excellent job at punting. I didn't even know Tommy Martin was on the team. So all best to Tommy Martin and his future endeavors, but he is looking to transfer. And Leonard Warner has decided to forego his time at Florida State. No surprise there. I think actually that probably makes most of the fan base happy. Leonard Warner will transfer out. But as far as that goes, there are a ton of rumors, but there is no concrete news. No concrete news. Again, I got this game. I got the Knicks versus the Pacers on in the background if you can hear it. New York is up 55-53. I know you guys don't care, but damn it, I care because I'm a Knicks fan. Hope everybody's doing great on this Wednesday night. We are 2 days before Christmas. Hope everybody's not going too broke this holiday season. I know I am. I'm not spending no more damn money the rest of the year. My damn spoiled family gets all they want for Christmas. Not only, so we're on commercial here. Let's flip over to the football game. You have the Memphis Tigers. They're on commercial too, but you got the Memphis Tigers, Mike Norvell's former team, against the FAU Owls with FSU's former coach. Unique bowl matchup there. Last time I checked, Memphis was up, I believe, 10-0. FAU does not really even look like too much of a good football team. And there's all kind of stuff on tonight. We also have the Celtics are playing the Milwaukee Bucks. You have the Knicks and the Pacers. Is there another game on this one? And then the Mavericks and the Suns also play tonight. So, man, this is a whole night of sports tonight. 15 people in here. Hit the like button. Again, nothing too crazy. Nothing too much FSU related tonight because there's not much to talk about. Wanting to get something out there before we went into the holidays, before we went into Christmas. Not going to do anything on Christmas Eve, so I figure I hit you guys up tonight. Reach out, touch base with you guys, see what you guys want to talk about tonight. Why not? I don't have anything going on. Absolutely. Yes. J-Rob did declare. Sorry, I missed that. Janarius Robinson. Did I talk about? I might have talked about that last show. I don't remember. But if I didn't, Janarius Robinson did decide to declare for the draft. Again, I thought that was one. I think it's a good move for him. So it's not a surprise. I thought, me personally, I don't think J-Rob is getting any better. I think he may have hit his ceiling. So why not go out there, collect a paycheck if you can? He might be a 5th, 6th round pick. His size is impressive. If he can go to the combine and maybe impress a few people, but I don't see anything. I don't see him going. And Memphis, FAU is really not a good team. I don't see J-Rob really going any sooner than the 5th round. Warner has decided to transfer. I'd be very interested to see what school wants to take on the Leonard Warner. Knicks are up 57-53. And then Tommy Martin, again, didn't even know that guy was on the team. So that's the other guy that decided to transfer out. Mastranamano's got that position on lock for the next 4 years, so not too worried about the punter position. RJ Barrett is balling tonight. RJ Barrett is doing his thing. Look, I love the Knicks' young core talent. Again, if you're just now joining, man, nothing too much FSU related tonight. Just a full-on open forum, whatever we want to talk about. I got the Knicks game on. I'm flipping back and forth between this game and the Memphis versus FAU game. So I got a bunch of whatever we going over tonight. Me and you like the same team, Knicks and Florida State. You see, that's my man right there. Keonta Goings. That's my man's. We like the same team. Knicks up 59-55 for those who care. At least I know two people care. Me and Keonta. If I'm pronouncing your name right. Sir 5 in the building. Merry Christmas to everybody again. Want to reach out, guys, before we went into Christmas. Not going to do anything on Christmas Eve, so tonight was the night to do it. Who them sorry Knicks playing? We playing the Pacers. 59-56, the Knicks are up. Oh, good pass. And now it's 59-58. Miami Heat all day. Have the Heat played their opening game yet? There's a few games on tonight. I don't know if the Heat have played yet. I know Clippers beat the Lakers last night. The New Jersey Nets destroyed the Warriors. I told y'all, man, y'all forgot about how good that boy KD is. Y'all forgot about that boy KD. And I know the Celtics in Milwaukee are playing right now. Celtics and the Bucks. The Suns and the Mavericks will play after the Memphis FAU game. What do you think about this? What do you think about Spence challenging Canelo? I'd be ecstatic for that. My only worry with that one, Derek, is, man, RJ is doing his thing. 8 for 8. RJ Barrett has not missed a shot yet. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, sorry, Derek. I'm getting a little excited. My Knicks ain't been good. Not even saying they're good this year. This is only the first game. But I ain't had nothing to cheer about when it comes to the Knicks for a long time. I did call them the New Jersey Nets. I meant Brooklyn. Same shit. Same shit. Anyway, my only worry with Earl Spence challenging Canelo is if his power can translate to 160. And I'm not saying he has to knock him out at 160. Can he hit Canelo hard enough to keep Canelo, for Canelo to show him respect? That is my worry about that. Did you see the article on Marvin Jones Jr.? Looks really positive. It looked positive for us for Brandon Jennings too. But with all that said, Tyler, I did read it. I even retweeted it. We can't miss out on Marv. Can't miss out on Marvin Jones Jr. All those legacy kids, I want them. I want them. Gotta get them. The Knicks finally have a squad. I don't know if we have a squad, but we playing a solid game right now. What up, Canes? Obi making a little bit of plays, man. I know he's hit a 3. He's had a block. I think he's got a couple assists. Solid. He's solid. 66-61, New York Knicks up. Kane said we playing Orlando. Heat versus Orlando is tonight. Okay. I can't get into the NBA right now. Maybe around March I'll start watching. I feel you. I much more prefer the NBA over it's weird. When it comes to football, I prefer college over professional. But when it comes to basketball, I prefer the pros. But Scotty Barnes has kind of made me change that this year. Let's see what's going on this football game. How the Fighting Willie Taggarts look. Spence is not going to fight Canelo. Canelo is too big and powerful for Spence. It might happen. Remember, Canelo has fought at 154. People that I know that live in that Dallas area, they tell me Earl Spence walks around at about 180. So it makes sense. I think Earl can get to 160. They're saying he's starting to struggle to make 147 as it is now. My only question again is, can Earl hit hard enough to keep Canelo respectable? How is Frank looking? Frank who? If you're talking about Frank Ntilikina, Frank ain't been on the court yet. If you can hear it behind me, looks like Memphis just threw a pick.
then the interception as they're getting inside the red zone. And we got a ball.
But Memphis is up 10-0 if you're not watching this one.
222 yards. This is a 10-point football game.
See if the Owls can get on track offensively. They've struggled to sustain drives to consistently.
This FAU offense is terrible. From what I've watched this game so far, like the offensive line is just bad.
Who's going to get some carries here tonight?
And Clay, I want to go back and you have to imagine Willie Taggart told his football team, look, let's just stay in this thing. Stay in as long as we can. Last thing we want to do is just get down 21-0 against this Memphis team. I think they feel like they have a chance. They can just keep sustaining this.
Go back to this basketball game. I love to see Canelo and Charlo. I try not to get hyped for recruits until they sign, even if they commit. I want them to come, but I don't want to be disappointed if they don't. I feel you, Marquise.
Everywhere with Christmas fast approaching. Great to have you with us. Our Delta MSC Studios.
Okay, they're on halftime, so we're going to go back to the football game. We're not going to worry too much about no halftime report. Yeah, he hasn't played. About to get drunk and watch the Grints. I feel you. Let me check my palm pilot. Look, the FAU team, man. Looking very Florida State-ish. I believe Big Charlo will fight Canelo before Spence. I don't. Let me tell you why I don't believe that, Rose. And I'm not saying Canelo's scared of anybody. Canelo versus Big Charlo is legit. That's, to me, I think Charlo could do. If Charlo fights the right fight, he can beat him, right? I think Canelo's the best in the world, pound for pound, but I think that's legit right there. It's not that I don't think Canelo and Earl Spence is legit. I think from Canelo's standpoint, he feels like a guy that has to move up 2 weight classes to fight him. Is a much, not only is it a easier fight potentially for Canelo, the bigger fight is Canelo and Spence in Texas. That fight to sell out the Dallas Arena, AT&T, whatever they call that Cowboys Arena. It'll sell it out. That's 100,000 plus. That's probably going to do 1 million pay-per-view buys. Canelo would take that Spence fight, in my opinion, before he took that Charlo fight. No, Walt Belt is the head coach of UMass. But they do look bad tonight, man. Memphis has the ball back.
Incredible weapons for Alabama. The other thing for Alabama is they're going to be without their center, Landon Dickerson, probably the best lineman in the SEC. He's done for the year. So that's something I could factor into this game. But Amon Ross, best defensive player for this FAU unit.
And he's got some ties to Mac Jones. They went to prep school together.
Memphis looked like they kind of lost a step this year. Did you see Amari Gainer's tweet? Looks like he's locked in. Hopefully we maximize his potential. Talked about that the last show, that Amari Gainer is all in. He'll be back. Amari will be back. He looks like he's all in. Coop. A lot of guys, man. We lost 2 guys today, but I don't think anybody's crying over Leonard Warner and Tommy Martin. So not too worried about the 2 guys we lost today. There's some rumors of some potential wide receiver transfers. There's some rumors of all kind of transfer rumors that are just, I'm not really I don't want to get too big on anything until stuff starts becoming more clear, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. But I'm looking at the transfer portal, man, and more big names enter this portal every single day. Told you guys, this portal's gonna get ridiculous. And even today, here I'm trying to find it. Former 4 stars. Matter of fact, hold on. Here we go.
That's not true. And it was in fact true.
Well, I did not know that.
North Carolina just had a former 4-star offensive tackle, 2nd year, Tristan Miller, enter the portal. That's another guy that FSU. I mean, that's probably a guy who's gonna instantly start if FSU could go after him. South Carolina cornerback John Dixon is in the portal. I'm just gonna keep scrolling, and I mean, every day, man, these guys are in. 2023 star JUCO defensive tackle Latrell Bankston has entered the transfer portal. He played for Iowa State last year. 6'1", 295. 4-star DB Jamie Robinson is into the transfer portal. Played for South Carolina last year. I'm just like, I'm telling you, man, this portal's ridiculous at this point. Temple DN Arnold, I can't pronounce his last name. He's a grad transfer. He was second team all AAC. Arnold Ibike, his last name's hard to say. I'm not even, but you get what I'm saying, guys. Notre Dame's, no, take that back. They're talking about how good Notre Dame's offensive line is. And I just keep scrolling down, and here's another one. 3-star defensive tackle Peter Tonga has entered the portal. Played for Utah last year. The more, we can just keep going on and on. This transfer portal is going to get ridiculous. Right now, Memphis is driving down the field on the Fighting Taggarts. R. Davies says, I want Jermaine Johnson, DN. I would love him too. He's in the portal, absolutely. Hopefully we can land either that DN from Northwestern or the Georgia. We definitely, if we could add a legit pass rusher, that would do wonders. Any corners in the portal? We need some because Miami struck out. Memphis is about to score here. I believe so, man. They're all over the portal, bro. Too many of these fighters dodge each other and make all types of excuses not to fight. I wish it was like the old days when boxers fight everybody in their weight class to see. Well, even in the old days, sir, there wasn't as many belts. Now everybody's a champion. There's 3, 4, 5 belts in some of these weight classes. You can be called a world champion and have never fought anybody and just go grab a belt. Back in the day, you maybe had 2 different belts. Maybe. You know what I mean? So boxing is so full of politics, and that's why you get what you get. And that's why, we should have been had Earl Spence versus Bud. We should have been had Anthony Joshua versus Wilder. And we can go down the list of just naming fights after fights. But boxing is so political. Yeah. How about Anthony Shelton, DT tackle from Penn? Could we use someone like, is he in the portal? And quite frankly, yeah, we could use anything in the portal. Me personally, I really think, this is just me personally, FSU needs to focus on adding a veteran pass rusher. I like the young pass rushers we got, but there's no, guarantee that Patrick Payton or George Wilson, who are on the light side, are going to be ready to play and contribute game one. I want a veteran pass rusher. We're losing J-Rob, which is fine. I expect Derek McClendon to continue to progress, Josh Griffiths to continue to progress, but I still want a veteran pass rusher on the opposite side of Kane Doe, if Kane Doe does choose to stay. Okay. A veteran offensive tackle would help this. I mean, right now you have the quarterback. Now let's surround this quarterback with the right pieces. I think we need to add a receiver. Even if we land on all the recruiting targets that we're looking at, the Dustin Hills and whatnot, we still need to get a veteran receiver in there, a veteran offensive tackle. And then, quite frankly, I think your offense might be set. Give me a pass rusher. We already got a corner. And Memphis just scored. And I wouldn't be mad at a linebacker. I'd be interested to see how they address this linebacker position. Mine King was good. The linebacker from USC would be nice. That former 5-star would be nice. I don't know if he has any interest in Florida State. How can Miami not land any corners? They are the hotbed for talented DBs. It seems like Miami is really focused. I don't normally do this. And now Memphis just got 2-point conversion. It is 18-0 Memphis over Florida Atlantic University. I don't usually do this. I want to take a look at Miami's recruiting class, only to see, well, what was Miami's focus? Because people are saying that Miami didn't land a corner. Why is that? Well, let's see. Because, I mean, they're in the top 11 in recruiting. You added, seems like they really focused on
Well, then here, look at this. This is on the center. He just reads this and just says, I'm just going to toss this ball on out to the outside.
I mean, it looks like overall they have a pretty well-signed class. I mean, you got 2 D tackles, an athlete, like 2 linebackers, inside linebackers, like 3 receivers, about 3 offensive or 2 to 3 offensive linemen. Yeah. A safety, couple safeties. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that just wasn't their priority in this class. That's exactly why I love the UFC. People get paid to fight, not run. Well, because Dana White he simply controls he controls the entire thing. So Dana White can force you to fight. Dana White can make you fight. You know, absolutely. I need to see Quayshawn Fuller make some noise. I think Quayshawn, and see, that's the problem with, I think, the defensive ends that were recruited from the previous regime. If you look at the Quayshawn Fullers and some of these other guys, they aren't really pass rushers. They're 6'3", 6'4", but they're wide bodies, not necessarily long arms, and they're definitely not twitchy guys, right? They're kind of space eaters, set the edge kind of guys. I always felt like Quayshawn Fuller should have added some weight and moved inside. We need some fast guys off the edge, man. Brian Burns-esque, Bjorn Warner-esque, Tank Carradine type of guys. We need to be careful with that portal, though. Make sure we don't pick up anyone else's problem. I don't even think that's I mean, I hear what you're saying. I don't even think this year. I don't know. I don't even know if you can count that as a worry this year. Everybody's transferring. And everybody that's in the portal isn't a problem. You know what I mean? Some of these guys are trying to come home or whatever the case. We definitely need a wide receiver. Just give me some guys that can catch the football, man. We'll worry about the good route running after the fact. Just can they catch? I heard Odell is getting a off the field position next year. We'll see. I haven't heard anything too crazy. I've heard some rumors. We got a bunch of wide receivers, O-lines, and linebackers. We are hurting for shutdown corners. We haven't had a shutdown corner in a long time. Jerwin James types just don't grow on trees, Jen. That's what I was saying last year about Quayshawn moving inside. Yeah, that's how I feel like he should have did. I just don't think like he's the pass rushing type. You know what I mean?
And they were already down a guard in Federico Morangus. We found out just moments before kickoff that he wasn't going to be available tonight. You see Willie Taggart not.
So look at this. Y'all see Taggart over here yelling now. And Willie Taggart's time at Florida State, did anybody ever see him get this mad at a ref? Come on, Tag. A kicker, it was mixed, but we need corners because that ones we can't cover. Okay. Y'all see Tag over there cussing out refs? Show me when he ever did that for us. It's like he was just happy to be there when he was coaching us. And they're about to go into halftime. So we'll switch back to the basketball game.
66-63.
Notice 22 points to lead all scorers, but Barrett right behind him. Another bad pass. This time, though, the Knicks able to hold on. They got away with not getting a foul right there. Pacers tightening up their defense, folks. Yeah, Payton was out of bounds when he caught it.
We need to get Elfrid Payton off of the court. I don't know why they think Elfrid Payton needs to be the starting point guard. And again, this has nothing to do with the topping. This is the issue I had with the Knicks. You should have picked a point guard. Elfrid Payton, man, he is not good at anything. Look, he almost just turned the ball over just now.
Pacers were a good defensive team last year. Bullock was hot like in the first quarter. Then they took him out of the game. Randall using the right hand. Nice adjustment.
Julius Randle with the take. 68-63 New York Knicks. But we got some nice young talent that I'm excited about. But man, Elfrid Payton needs to go the hell away.
Oladipo off the glass. Oladipo started to percolate now. He's got 2 points. Randall kicks it out.
Thank you, sir. I'm waiting for somebody to answer the question. I'm just watching FAU and Memphis, and Taggart was just more animated than I had ever seen before. In his time here, especially, I've never seen him to get mad when he was coaching the Seminoles. Looked like he just blew a gasket there for FAU. I guess maybe he's more invested in the FAU Owls than he was when his time here. I guess, I don't know. Maybe had he coached that way here, he could have got guys, instead of letting guys dance at practice, maybe if he had coached that type of way, I don't know, could still possibly be here. Rose said, Jamie Robinson, the only Porter player that could be a problem. He allegedly was accused of hazing a teammate. Really? Didn't he? That sucks.
One of the things you have to be careful of as a coach with no fans. Poor defensive sequence there.
71-70. New York's still in the lead, but our defense is still shaky. Elfrid Payton is still trash. And RJ Barrett looks like he's about to have a big sophomore year.
Barrett drives, flips it up in. RJ Barrett remains perfect from the field.
Perfect. RJ Barrett is perfect from the field. 9 for 9, guys. Go, if you're not, watch some RJ Barrett right now. Looking like the best player on the court right now. With the nice assist right there. Yeah, I knew what you was trying to say. He came here for the money and practice time dance-offs between players. Unfortunate. So here's one of my questions in regards to the Seminoles, right? What do we think? Okay, let's start on offense. I know my answers. You guys pretty much know what I'm gonna say. But how did these position groups grade out? And what was the best position group on offense? What was the worst position group on offense? What was the most surprising position group on offense? I mean, I think offense kind of speaks for itself. I think let's just start with the quarterback room, right? And let's start with the grading of that position. I look at that quarterback room. What's going on, Maiden Day? I look at that quarterback room, and I'm saying at the beginning of the year it was an F. There's no questions about it. We started the year off F. James Blackman started 2 games, and then Tate Rodemaker started against Jacksonville State. F. Wasn't until we got Jordan Travis in there to start doing things with his legs that I think the overall grade for that quarterback room, when Jordan Travis was healthy, I'd give it like a C minus. But without Jordan Travis, that thing fell to a F. Now, I thought Chuba Purdy performed admirably. I do not. I go back and watch Purdy. I don't. First of all, they really dumbed the game down. They dumbed the game plan down for him a lot in his lone start. But I also saw him make a few throws, and he has a few tools to work with in his game.
Dominating down low. Robinson doesn't go for the fake that time. Straight up and does it.
With that said, I'm gonna give it a C minus. I think the quarterback room gets a C minus for me. I believe Wilson Payton. That would be the ideal position to use them in, Rose. You know, they may not be strong enough or big enough year one to play all, be every down lineman or linebackers, wherever they're going to use them at. But definitely on a third and long situation where all you got to do is worry about guys pinning their ears back and rushing the passer, that's definitely on the situations that you're going to want to use those in. We need to find a place kicker. Absolutely, Wanda. How are you? Our running backs on offense, I vote for. Wide receiver was the worst position group, in my opinion. Yeah, we're gonna. Yep. So I gave the quarterback room about a C minus. Rose's giving them a C plus. What do you guys think when it comes to quarterback? What would you grade those guys? Obi Toppin just got another score. He just made another 3, I think. So the Knicks are doing their thing. 77-74. Our defense is suspect. But offensively, look, we got some things going. Let's go to running backs. Running backs, easily your best position group on the offense. I think we gave the Pacers just took the lead 78-77. I look at the running back room. I say it's easily the best position, your most productive position. I think Jesus, Obi Toppin just shot a air ball, like didn't hit nothing. And Elfrid Payton still sucks. I can't even finish my damn sentence because I'm watching this sorry ass Elfrid Payton. But anyway, running back. For a lot of people want to give Jay Sean Corbett a hard time. I was giving him a hard time at the beginning of the season. LaDamian Webb looked like the more explosive back. I think when you go back, look at the whole season in its totality, he was your most productive running back. And To'Philly, every time he touched the ball, was for 9-10 yards. So I think going forward, that running back, even without Webb going forward, running backs are going to be fine. I would give these running backs, I would give the running backs like a solid B plus. I would grade the running backs at a B plus. I think that was your best position group. There's a lot of talent there. You could see them make plays when plays were there to be made. Unfortunately, FSU was down big in so many games that they didn't really run the ball. They ran the ball, but they didn't run the ball how you would normally run it. Most of the running was Jordan Travis, where Jordan Travis led the team rushing over 500 yards. He was the focal point in the run game. It's going to be interesting next year with a more traditional, even though Milton can run too. In Milton's best year, he ran for 600 some odd yards and like 8 touchdowns. So Milton can run that ball too. But I think they'll look to run the ball in more conventional styles next year. I would give that running back room a B plus though. Dragic doesn't look like he's lost a step. Corey says he's coming back to Florida State. Not NC State. Corey who? Durden? I don't believe that. Ain't Corey already gone? Where'd you hear that from, Montre? I ain't seen none of that. When y'all have ever played defense when have y'all ever played defense? And pretty much when Patrick Ewing was there. Absolutely. Yeah, all cap, bro. It's on his Twitter. No, it's not. Actually, I stopped following Durden's Twitter about 2 weeks ago, so it could be on his Twitter. I wouldn't know because I actually unfollowed him. Peyton was good at, man. They can have him back because I don't want him. Check Durden's Twitter. You're gonna laugh. Irv Gotti, what's going on? I think Auburn hire was a lot. I think the Auburn hire was a lot like what happened to FSU. They thought they could easily get a big name, but had so settled for an average coach. You know the problem with Auburn? They already had Gus. They had a guy that took them to a national championship. You don't fire Gus Malzahn. It's similar to Florida State, but to me, theirs is worse because you don't fire a guy that took you to a national championship without having a surefire thing to back him up. You feel me? With FSU's case, my biggest issue with Florida State wasn't that you fired Taggart. Taggart didn't do anything to deserve to keep his job. The problem is that you fired him, paid him $20 million, and you ended up with Mike Norvell. Now, the jury's out on Mike Norvell. I'm not talking bad about Mike Norvell, but you don't pay $20 million for Mike Norvell. You pay $20 million for, I don't know, a Kirby Smart or something. You know what I mean? Like something from a Power 5 school, something like that. So somebody with a proving track record. You don't pay $20 million for Mike Norvell and Adam freaking Fuller. That was my issue there. Will you grade the play calling too? We can grade the play calling. Oh wait, let's go. Durden was just saying he wanted to graduate so he could be a grad transfer. I think they forced Durden out there. Durden. I think they forced him out. I have no facts on that, but if I had to guess, I think hold on, watching Toppin try to work in space, and yeah, the Toppin didn't look quite. Indiana's up 81-77. Give the ball to RJ Barrett, the guy who hasn't missed a shot, and get out of the way. All right, let's go. What's up, Dennis Wilson? Still can't believe you are a Knicks fan. Bruh, not hating Dennis. Okay, Durden said he's not attending NC State in January. He's going to stay at FSU to finish his degree. That's all. Got you. So he wants to get that he still won't be playing for the team, but yeah, okay, that's what he's saying. I still think they forced Durden out of there, which I'm not mad at. So that was a foul. Yeah, and his first miss, it was a foul. What you feel about the alleged Florida recruiting violations? Means nothing because they just slapped Mullen on the wrist. If I'm not mistaken, the penalty that they got was Mullen can't do any in-home visits and things of that nature. Well, guess what? They're not doing that crap right now anyway. Nobody's doing in-home visits. It's the dead period is until like April 15th or something. Teams still can't meet with kids and none of that. If they really wanted to make a statement, they should have made a statement on Florida. They didn't do anything. I don't think anything of it because they didn't do anything about it. They slapped them on the wrist. If there was legit recruiting violations, do something about it.
Let's get to it, America. Because joy doesn't just happen. You make it happen. And during the Ford Good for the Holidays sales event, we're helping you make even more joy. Come get the best deals of the season with offers on select Ford SUVs and Ford Fusions. Everything you need to make the holidays brighter than ever. That's how we're making joy this season.
My Twitter's going crazy right now over that Corey Durden stuff. You can't talk that much trash and then say you staying at Florida State. I just don't think people gonna have nothing to say about it. Next up is the wide receivers. F all over the board. Those wide receivers get a fat F. Wide receivers by far was the worst position group on the entire offense, and it wasn't even close. So F. More we had probably more drops than touchdown passes this year. And that's ridiculous. Jordan Travis, I think, only threw 6 touchdown passes. Black might have added another 2. And I think Purdy threw another 2. I think for a total, FSU only threw 10 touchdown passes. I guarantee you, as a entire wide receiving core, I guarantee you they have more than 10 drops. F. Boy, do we need an infusion of talent in that wide receiver room. Boy, do we need some leadership in that wide receiver room. Straight F. Kenny says F minus. Absolutely. I can't stand the NCAA. They punish who they want to. Exactly. They punish who they want to. I'm not surprised. It's the SEC is always a slap on the wrist. Joseph Oliver was popping 83-77. Indiana's taking the lead here. And that's mainly because the Knicks don't play defense, man. Offensively, though, we don't look bad. I'm liking what I'm seeing from RJ Barrett, man. Second year, he looked like he's going to be a problem. 80-83 FSU, New York. But until we played some defense, none of that crap's going to matter. War Chant Nugget, Alabama, Trey Sanders. Yeah, War Chant was. Look, until his name enters the portal, Irv, what are we talking about, bro? What are we talking about? BB says, go Lizards. I expect at least 25 plus from Norvell's offense this season. No, 25 plus isn't going to be enough for me. I think we averaged that this year. Kenny Zapata, we averaged about 26 or something points a game this year. Believe it or not, we did. I have to look it up. Let me look it up. But we averaged close to that this year. 25 ain't enough. Next year, we need to be averaging upwards of 30 some odd points a game. I mean, you don't bring in Mackenzie Milton to average 25 points a game.
Stutter step knocked out of bounds. Suffocating D by the Pacers that time. They're going to jump it up. The 2 officials checking.
Green Bay, what's going on? Brooklyn is still trying to snatch Harden up. I don't know if it's going to happen, though. I don't think they need him. But again, I told you already. I think the Lakers would have a problem with the team Brooklyn has right now. They get Harden, they're not beating that Brooklyn team. KD out there screaming that Roy Jones, y'all must have forgot who I am. I'm telling y'all. Oh yeah, what was I about to do? I was about to check and see how many points did FSU average this year. 83-80. New York Knicks versus the Indiana Pacers. Let's go, Mitch.
Top and guarded by Justin Holiday, who's a good defender. Holiday pushes a nice feed inside. Robinson on the second effort. Obi Toppin with an excellent pass.
Joseph says, do you agree with Herb Street on the college playoff? And they need to change the format. I've been begging for it. Yeah, between 35 to 38. There you go, Michael. When you bring in Mackenzie Milton, that's where I'm looking at, 35, 38. I'm trying to go to see how much we averaged this year, and I'm pretty sure it's around 25 points a game this year they averaged.
Aaron Holiday picks up that personal. That's his first.
Yeah, FSU averaged 25.8 points a game this year. So 25 plus don't work for next season. We need 30 plus. 30 plus. Nets are nice without Harden. I completely agree. Did you see that Charles Barkley and KD interview last night? No, I didn't watch that. Oh man, Toppin just got his stuff blocked. He should have dunked that. Toppin got to realize he's not in college no more. It's a decent move, but he ain't in college no more, man. They sending all of that.
Usually college, you lose your man, you can go to the basket. You would be dunking that ball. In the NBA, you got a 6'11" guy to try to get past as well.
I think if we get Destin Hill and McClain, our receivers won't be too awful with Brian Robinson too. The youth infusion of youth and talent is going to be big. We still need a veteran in that wide receiver room, but just the infusion of talent is going to be big. I think Harden would mess up the chemistry of the Nets. It ain't enough basketball to go around. Again, I said it before. I think sometimes we overestimate some of that stuff. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving will figure it out. They're going to figure it out. 86-82. Tight ends. I'm moving on to the tight end group. I'm torn on the tight end group. I'm torn on it. Given the talent level, and look at this, man. Indiana's just starting to run the floor on us. 88-82. We can't play any defense. New York's always do this. They get you high just to bring you all the way back down to earth, man. They always do this to me.
It's too much dribbling now. Too stagnant.
Now they can't even make a shot. Back to what I was saying with the tight ends, man. Given the talent level of the tight end room, I kind of want to go easy on them. Quite honestly, I mean, you're looking at a tight end room that legit had one legit tight end in the building, and that's Cam McDonald. The other guys they were playing was a walk-on tight end out of Memphis, a converted quarterback. And given just that talent level, I want and the fact that the quarterback we rotated quarterbacks all year. I want to give Cam McDonald the benefit of the doubt, and I'm gonna give him a C+. I think for all things considered, to me, when Cam McDonald was able to catch the ball, he made plays, in my opinion. Whenever he was utilized, he was able to make plays. When he was targeted, he was able to make plays. And because of that, I'm going to give him a C+. He needs to be utilized more. The entire room, I think they're getting a big infusion of talent in that room this offseason. But that tight end room probably was the least talented room on the entire offense. And for what it's worth, I thought performed admirably, even including the walk-on. The walk-on, when he got an opportunity, made catches and played decent football. Wyatt Rector, when he had an opportunity at the goal line to run in the touchdown, he was able to do it. So for what it's worth, I think the tight end room did, given what tools they were working with, I think tight end room performed admirably. Shout out to Jay Oliver with the donation, man. I very much appreciate you. As always, shout out to Joseph Oliver with the donation. We didn't use much of our tight ends. Who's the sleeper team in the East and the sleeper team in the West? In the East, sleeper team in the East. Well, let's see. The best teams in the East are going to be the Miami Heat, the Milwaukee Bucks, the New Jersey, the Brooklyn Nets, and then probably let's see, out of those three, I guess Philadelphia, they got Doc Rivers now. Philadelphia 76ers. I guess Toronto is still going to be solid. I guess this Indiana team. And then I don't know, a sleeper team. That's tough. I'm gonna go out on a limb and just say as a sleeper team, I'm gonna say look out for the Charlotte Hornets. They added Gordon Hayward. Very interested to see how LaMelo Ball plays. They could have a little solid little squad. Now, when I say sleeper, like they'll compete for a playoff team. I'm not saying, Eastern Conference Finals or anything crazy like that. I think Charlotte can compete for a playoff spot. When I say sleeper, McDonald was solid whenever we use him. Right. I'm starting to sense that no one can play with Harden. How much time do you think Jordan Travis will play behind Mackenzie Milton next year? As long as Milton's healthy, Jordan Travis will play behind him all year. Man, that was funny, and Shaq laughing made it even funnier. How many years has that Kansas receiver been playing? I think he could be that veteran if we were to get him. So I see he's played I think he redshirted year one. His first year playing was fairly productive, had like over 800 yards receiving and some touchdowns. And then he didn't play much this year due to COVID. So really has only one full season. But he's been in college football long enough. I think that'd be a veteran presence. Any idea why we didn't get to see Brian Robinson on the field? Norvell said he was dealing with a bunch of injuries this year. Tight ends really didn't get a chance to shine. Absolutely not. He said the Hawks will be your sleeper. And then what up? What up, T2Y? And Kenny says LaMelo is 0 for 5. Oh, they're playing right now? Is he 0 for 5? Well, that just blew my sleeper pick right out of the window. I think LaMelo will get it together. He might get it together. What's the score on that one? Right now it's 84-90. New York is losing. Frank Ntilikina is in the game right now. For that person that asked me about him earlier. But again, the Knicks just don't play good defense, man. And right now we can't get any stops. Yep, 8-point lead. And then last but not least, let's talk about this offensive line. What's going on, Chad? All things considered, and y'all gonna call me biased or whatever. Considering where the offensive line came from, considering where the O-line came from, considering the expectations of the offensive line. I don't think anybody thought the offensive line was going to be any good, because I didn't. Going into the season, you wouldn't have been able to convince me that the O-line was going to be any good.
7 of his 11 shots have been from 3. Turner for 3. That won't go. Alex Burks has it. It's down by 8.
Poor shot selection now by both teams.
Ntilikina, his first shot of the season.
Oh my God! Offensively, they took RJ out the game. Now we can't get nothing going offensively. We really needed a look. Obi Toppin's got some stuff to work with, man. Don't get me wrong. But we needed a point guard, man. We needed a guard. And we're not getting no guard play right now. But again, all things considered, man, I think the offensive line, I'm gonna give them an A. Now I think the running back room, and I know I only gave the running backs a B+. But again, given where the offensive line was and what we thought the offensive line was gonna be, I was pleasantly shocked this entire year of how well they actually played. Is an A realistically too high? Yeah, I think it is. If I take my heart out of it and just use my head, A's too high of a grade. They're probably more so of a B to B- on the O-line. They had games where that Pitt game, they really got exposed, but that was a damn good defensive line that Pitt team had. But just in totality, I'm giving that O-line an A. Our offense was a read option and Wildcat. It was pretty much that's what it was. Pretty much that's what it was. So if the Knicks can't get any stops, I don't see how we win this game. It's 95-88. We just keep giving up wide open shots. And right now we're kind of getting lucky that they're missing them. Nobody cares about the Lakers because they lost last night. I'm not that big on Julius Randle either. See what I'm saying? No guard play. No guard play. Getting Ntilikina out the game. O-line, a solid B. Yeah, that's what I said. If I take my heart out of it, yeah, that's off of how they played, solid B minus. I'm giving them an A. I'm giving them an A because there's no way you could have convinced me before the season that offensive line was going to be serviceable, let alone actually be fairly good. I want to see Damori Tate. Absolutely. Lakers will repeat. We'll see. We'll see. You guys, I won't even say that. You guys will make it out of the West if you're able to avoid the Clippers again. The Clippers only care about playing y'all. It's pretty apparent to see that the Clippers only care about playing the Lakers. But the Clippers can lose to the Denver Nuggets again. But I don't think the Lakers can beat the Clippers. I think Lakers can beat everybody else in the West. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not willing to say that the Lakers going to flat out beat those Brooklyn Nets either. We're about to get into defense right up in a minute. Damori Tate, Travis Hunter on the outside. Yes, sir.
Burks is open. Not enough with all deflected out to Randall. Let's get a new 14. Randall close to a triple-double today. Nice feet inside. Burks can't get it to fall.
Man, Taggart got them boys fired up. What, did they come out in the second half playing Did the Fighting Owls come out and be fired up in the second half? I would hope so. Again, Taggart showed emotion. He showed more emotion this game than I ever saw in his 21 games at Florida State. But they're on commercial right now. So let's move over to the defense. And we'll start at the defensive tackles. Was there not a more disappointing position on the entire football team? Just like I said about the O-line and how you couldn't have convinced me that the O-line was going to be as good as it ended up being. There's no way before the season you were going to convince me that defensive line, specifically defensive tackle, would be so inept.
Nice feet inside. Noel comes up short.
And the defensive tackle group giving the so-called talent that's supposed to be in that group. Marvin Wilson was considered the best defensive tackle coming into the season. Corey Durden was considered a top 10 guy. I think Robert Cooper was considered a top 10 guy. And giving that so-called talent, your D tackles are getting a D for me. They had some productive plays. They picked up their play, in my opinion, when Dennis Briggs came back. I thought Fabian Lovett, for the most part, had a solid year. But just from the hype, I got to give it a D. It's got to get a D for me because you had too much talent to just not affect games or to just not being a factor. It should have been a bigger factor in a lot of games. Defensive ends. For over 30 years, Lexus has been celebrating. Janarius Robinson was actually our most productive defensive lineman in terms of sacks, tackles for loss. He led the team in sacks. I think he led the team in tackles for loss. Did he? I think he led the team. I think he led the team in tackles for loss, if I'm not mistaken. Quarterback pressures, all of that stuff. So given that, Kando had his first full season of really being healthy. I'm excited to possibly see if he is able to do something next year after having a whole season of being healthy.
Has changed considerably, and you can tell that you saw something during the week. They called this short kick here.
I think FAU just recovered a onside kick.
Get down there and get the ball. Maybe kick this someone's a little less sure-handed. That ball comes down the 25-yard line.
Oh, you gotta catch that ball, man. That's terrible for Memphis. Lack of concentration from Memphis. D ends, I'm not really gonna give that much of a better grade, despite most of your defensive production or your defensive line production coming from the D end position. I'm not gonna give him any more higher than those D tackles. I'm gonna give him a D plus or whatever. Whatever I gave the D tackles, that's what I'm giving the D ends. Man, that D line gets an incomplete. No, it just gets a straight D. Why don't Derek Brooks' son stand out? Because he's not his dad. Sometimes guys just aren't their dad, man. What's up, Sniper? Who you want starting at corner next year? I would love to see Damori Tate if, and that's just off of hype. But if I go off a play from this year, your two starting corners. Jarvis Brownling's gonna have one spot, even though part of me believes he's better in the slot than he is on the outside. You're adding some freshmen. That's tough. That's a tough question, just because Jerry Jones is a pass interference machine, and Akeem Dent wasn't playing at 100% this year with his injury. Maybe coming off a whole year, he'll be better. Third
down. Over the middle. Pass caught. And there's a first down for the Owls, and this looks like a completely different unit from what we saw.
Is being the GOAT about championships or stats? It has to be a combination of both, not just one or the other. When you talk about the GOAT in any sport, matter of fact, let's turn back to that. What's up, Giuseppe? I've been watching them. We were looking good for a little bit. Our defense is, we can't get no stops. And they just scored again. The Knicks are going to lose. RJ played a good game today. But back to the question. When you talk about GOAT, obviously it's got to be a combination of both.
Looking for a call, didn't get it. Good aggressive move, just wouldn't finish as Sabonis was right there.
Sabonis 6'11", Knox 6'9". But this is
you can't just have championships, right? Because then Robert Horry is your GOAT. Or, somebody like that. Somebody who just, And then if we're just talking stats, stats are great. But if you were never able to win at the highest level, how can you be considered the GOAT? So it's a combination of both. And this game is over. 106-92. Like you said, man, more of the same from the damn Knicks. Why is Elfrid Payton? If you're watching this, Elfrid Payton is so trash. Why is he even on the court? I don't know. I'd rather see Dennis Smith Jr. than Elfrid Payton. But what do I know? I know more about football than basketball anyway. Linebackers. Linebackers. I would give
But the Pacers have dominated the Knicks. They won 8 of the last 9 contests.
Man, playing much as freshmen as we played, the linebackers started off horrendous. They definitely started off the season as F. Emmett Rice came along the end of the year. And the Knicks are disgusting me right now. Linebackers are C-, I guess. Bill Russell is the GOAT when it comes to championships. People talking about basketball GOATs. Please, no one forget Bill Russell. You know, I'm going to be honest. Here's my thing with the Bill Russells and the Wilt Chamberlains of the world. I'm not denying their greatness. I am saying when you only had to play, how many teams? 10 teams in the league back then? When Wilt Chamberlain was the only he's the only 7-footer in all of basketball. You know, Bill Russell was a tremendous athlete, but I just, you know, I'm not saying Bill Russell wouldn't be good in today's NBA, but there's 30 teams in today's NBA. Bill Russell had to go through 10, 12, I don't know, whatever they had back then. I think it's just kind of different, you know. I'd more rather compare the 80s, the 90s, you know. When you start comparing the 60s and stuff, things get kind of cloudy. So it sounds like LeBron is the GOAT. In what way? How can LeBron be if you want to talk about championships, he doesn't have more championships than Kobe. He doesn't have more championships than, obviously, Michael Jordan. We don't even have to go to Michael Jordan. He doesn't have more championships than Tim Duncan. I think he has the same amount of championships as Shaq. And then if we talk about stats, he has the longevity thing when it comes to stats for sure. LeBron's so ball dominant that, you know, people, we start talking this GOAT stuff, and everybody loves to talk about LeBron averaging triple doubles, and LeBron's a better rebounder than Jordan. Is he really? Think about this. LeBron is 6'8", 260 or whatever he is. Jordan was 6'6", in his prime, maybe 200 pounds soaking wet. LeBron only out averages Michael Jordan in rebounds by what? 1 or 2? I mean, at 6'8", 260, I should average more rebounds than you. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's way more ball dominant than Michael Jordan. Played off the ball in the triangle. He didn't have the ball in his hand every possession. LeBron has the ball in his hand every possession. He makes every decision on the basketball court. Michael Jordan didn't necessarily have to do that. So, in my GOAT criteria, when I talk about stats and championships, there's no way LeBron can be the GOAT. He has the longevity stats. LeBron's going to finish, maybe the second highest scorer of all time, because LeBron's going to play probably 3 more years. I mean, he's only 36 now. He's going to be like top 10 in assists and rebound. He's going to finish with incredible stats. Don't get me wrong. He's going to finish with incredible stats. But how can the GOAT, how can you ever consider the GOAT somebody who's lost as much as LeBron has lost? How can the GOAT be a guy who jumped around and tried to assemble the best teams year in and year out to help try to win championships? How can that be the GOAT? Everybody talks about Jordan supporting cast. All he had was Pippen. The only reason you know who Steve Kerr is because Michael Jordan was that great. The only reason you know who Horace Grant is because Michael Jordan was that damn great. The only other legit player Michael Jordan played with besides Scottie Pippen was Dennis Rodman. And Dennis Rodman didn't give him any points, but he rebounded and played defense probably better than anybody ever has in the history of the league. I'm just saying. LeBron's played with some of the best players in his own era. Dwayne Wade. There was a time when Dwayne Wade and LeBron James were on the same level. Kyrie Irving. Anthony Davis is considered the second best player in all of basketball to some people. Jordan's never, when did Jordan ever play with the second best player in this game? Scottie Pippen was good. He was never considered the second best player. No one would take Scottie Pippen over Shaq. No one would take Scottie Pippen over Hakeem Olajuwon or Charles Barkley for that matter, or Patrick Ewing, for that matter, I wouldn't.
He's done his whole career against the Knicks.
That's just me. I think LeBron had a better career, just wasn't the player than MJ. He had a longer career. Not to mention MJ took what, a year and a half, 2 years off in his prime. Another all-time great that's rarely mentioned is Tim Duncan. Jordan didn't beat the best teams till they were old. That's not true at all. Like another false argument. He beat the Piston team. Everybody on that Piston team was in their 20s. Everybody on that Piston team was in their 20s. So 20, 28, Isaiah Thomas at the time was 28. Something like that. I can go back and look at the stats, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, all those guys were in their 20s. So that's old. 28 old now. 20, 28, 27. That's old. He beat an old Lakers team. If you want to go that route, we can make that case. Not gonna lie. But that's it. He beat prime time. Well, he beat Penny Hardaway and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm not gonna say Shaq was in his prime then, but Shaq was at his most athletic then. He was still Shaquille O'Neal then. Penny Hardaway. Come on, man. If you don't know anything about young Penny Hardaway, bro. Sean Kemp was in his prime and Gary Payton was in his prime. Charles Barkley was in his prime with Kevin Johnson. Karl Malone, John Stockton were dominating the West in their. I mean, this old argument is false. And if that's the case, I got you, Michael, because I know I can see that you're a LeBron guy, and that's cool. Nothing wrong with LeBron. But here's where I got you in this argument. If you're gonna knock Jordan, let's just go by your argument, and let's just say Jordan did beat all the old teams. Okay, that LeBron gets no credit. If Jordan gets no credit for beating old teams, then you'd have to knock LeBron down about 5-6 pegs because he lost to an old Dallas Mavericks team because Jason Kidd was damn near 38-40 when Jason Kidd and Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Terry and them boys whooped LeBron and LeBron didn't show up. So I got you. Tim Duncan was old when he beat LeBron James and they beat the Heat by a record margin. I got you. So you can't knock Jordan for beating old teams when your GOAT couldn't beat the old teams. MJ says shoes even look better. Ain't nobody wearing LeBron. LeBron will go down as the GOAT when it's all said and done. The GOAT door was shut in 2011. It really was. I completely agree with you. In 2011, that door was shut, sealed, and to never be opened again. Your GOAT can't do what LeBron did in that 2011. That's just my opinion. Jordan had 2 3-peats. Jordan also played college, retired 2 years. Stats aren't nothing. That man could have won 8 in a row. Thank you, ALBJ ain't the GOAT. The only reason I know who Mario Chalmers is because of LeBron James. Okay, that's one guy, though. You know who Anthony Davis is because who Anthony Davis is. You know who Dwayne Wade is, Chris Bosh is, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. All those guys were all-stars. Jordan ain't played with nothing like that. Jordan played with one great player, and that's Scottie Pippen. That's it. And Dennis Rodman was an awesome defender, awesome rebounder, but he didn't give you anything on offense. Oh, and by the way, Jordan won before he ever got with Dennis Rodman. That Dennis Rodman didn't come to the second 3-peat. Face the facts. LeBron is literally ruined the NBA. More people watch the Jordan documentary ESPN made than the actual NBA finals. I won't say he ruined the NBA. They were going too far. I'm not a LeBron hater, so I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, LeBron's ruined the NBA or anything like that. So I won't go that. Pippen wasn't even as good as Clyde Drexler. That's debatable, Giuseppe. I'm not going to, but Clyde Drexler was considered, a dog too. That's what I'm saying. Jordan beat Clyde Drexler. Like, I got Kobe ahead of LeBron. I think LeBron's better than Kobe. That's just me. What's up, William? How LeBron ruined the NBA? He made the NBA lots of money because of him. These superstars are the reason people want to watch the NBA. I don't think he ruined it. NBA ratings are down over 71%. Well, I mean, that's because Jordan is Jordan is Muhammad Ali. Jordan is the Beatles. He's Michael Jackson. And that's what Michael Jordan was, a phenomenon that is very hard to replicate.
The world's fastest bird, a peregrine falcon, to deliver Will's payout straight to you.
I love you, payout Falcon.
LeBron is great, and I think people kind of downsell his greatness. But at the same time, I'm just talking about basketball. If you take Jordan in his complete thing, you know, that's tough. Now, LeBron does a lot of great things off the court that deserves praise for. That's why I simply just like to talk the basketball side of it. And while LeBron's great, there are so many holes in his game that I don't believe Jordan had. Who wouldn't want to go to the Warriors game? Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Who would not watch? Bill Laimbeer. Yeah, Bill Laimbeer was probably the only guy on that Piston team over 30 or 30.
That would have been his first catch of the year, but he and Tronti.
Jordan literally kept Hall of Famers from winning rings. Everybody eating in Bron era. Completely agree there. Michael says, you got me. Bro, LeBron is afraid, literally frightened to take the last shot. I could literally name at least 10 players people know because of LeBron. Who? You said Mario Chalmers, and I'll give you Mario Chalmers. I can't really give you anybody else that I can think of off the top of my head. Let me think back in when he was in Cleveland the first time. Maybe Anderson Varejao. So there's two. Yeah, that's all I got. If Penny wouldn't have had those injuries, man. Yeah, man, Penny was cold, bro. Penny was the modern day point guard that you see now. 6'5", 6'6", playing point guard and athletic and doing all that stuff. That's what Penny Hardaway was back in the 90s. Now you got the Russell Westbrooks and you got the Derrick Roses and you got the John Walls now that are all that super athletic. That's what Penny Hardaway was in the 90s. He was ahead of his time. But that's the league now. I'm an Iverson fan, and he didn't win not one ring. And he's still, to me, one of the greats. I'm with you on AI, man. This is why, to me, LeBron's better than Kobe. You switch Kobe with Allen Iverson. Could Kobe have taken that 76ers team to the finals? I'm not too sure about that. Not Kobe at that time. I don't think so.
Yeah, Memphis.
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 84 was in the area of the pass.
Okay.
Rose ever could say the same about McGrady. McGrady's my favorite basketball player. I think I've said this before. McGrady's like my favorite basketball player ever. That's another guy. Put McGrady on those teams with Shaq. And could Kobe have got those Orlando teams with literally nobody else on it to the playoffs? I don't know. I'm not trying to disrespect Kobe. I know people are going to start coming for me when I start talking about Kobe. And I like Kobe Bryant. You know, R.I.P. With that said, I think Kobe kind of he benefited a lot from playing with Shaq, man. Kobe's best days were after Shaq, when he really was in his prime, in his bag. But with McGrady and Allen Iverson, they were just as good, if not better, in my opinion. The problem is Kobe played with Shaq, and no other team in the league had a guy like that. Bron rather let a forward/center take the game-winning shot. Jordan wouldn't even pass that position ball in that situation. LeBron has more game winners than anyone. Put LeBron at the line and watch him miss. His free throws is one of LeBron's biggest holes in his game. Jordan shot over 80% on free throws. We can pick it apart. Defensively, Jordan by far better defender than LeBron.
Targeting the call on Rodney Owens, the boundary safety out of Asheville.
Yeah, Penny was a bad man. Mike Miller, if you watch basketball, you knew who Mike Miller was before. He was on his last legs with the Heat. Literally had a bad back and everything. People knew who Mike Miller was. People knew who the Birdman was before the Heat. He was playing in the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets. People knew who Delonte West was before LeBron. Like the Anderson Varejao, I'll give you that, and I'll give you Alex Caruso that he's playing with now. You got a point there. But those first guys you mentioned, I think if you watch basketball, you knew exactly who those guys were. Damn, I didn't know Penny was so cold. I started following b-ball around the time the Knicks beat us when Allen Houston made that lucky shot. Jordan never complained about getting fouled or touched, but your boy LeBron cries the players rub him too fast. He's a great actor with all the flopping. AI, 6 foot, 165 pounds. He truly was, absolutely, truly would carry the team. And he was pound for, Allen Iverson probably pound for pound, one of the best players of all time, pound for pound. You can't even name another guy that was 6 foot that could do the things that Allen Iverson could do. Anytime you cross over the GOAT, you get a place in the book. That's all I'm saying. I could honestly agree with that. So, again, this isn't a LeBron hate fest, but somebody wanted to know the GOAT conversation. That's my place on it. Quite frankly, that door closed. That door, to me, closed in 2011. Because you can say what you want about the stats and LeBron coming back down from 3-1 and all that. It's great. Two things. One, Jordan would have never been down 3-1. And two, there's no way in hell Jordan would have lost a series going out like LeBron did. What did LeBron average for that series? Like less than 20 points. Wouldn't even take shots at points during the game. Just looked like Dallas just had him all. Jason Terry was cooking him. Jason Terry, all 6 foot of Jason Terry, was crossing over and scoring on LeBron James in his 6'8", 250-pound frame. You're going to tell me that Jordan doesn't go out like that? Jordan doesn't go out like that. It just doesn't happen. And like somebody else said in the chat, Michael Jordan kept guys from eating. There are Hall of Famers in the Jordan era that don't have rings because of him. Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley. Gary Payton had to win him a ring later on when he was like a third string point guard with the Heat. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley. If he doesn't retire, there's a good chance Hakeem Olajuwon don't get no rings either. Kind of nasty when you think about it. And during LeBron's era, Dirk Nowitzki got him a ring. Steph got him a ring. KD got him a ring. I'm just saying, bro. Tim Duncan won a ring. Kawhi Leonard won a ring on him. Just saying, bro. Kevin Garnett gets slept on. Rose. Sean Kemp, I feel you. Super athletic when in his prime, was dunking on everything. We already talked about Penny, but KG, he didn't win like Tim Duncan, but I think Kevin Garnett was more talented of a player than Tim Duncan. I wish KG was low to Minnesota. He would have won a bunch of hardware. Absolutely. No, I love LeBron. It's hard to appreciate his greatness with how his fans act. No one exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, Green Bay. It's hard because his fans, LeBron's fans, act like he can do no wrong. That is the problem. It's not so much with LeBron. It's that the people who root for him, they will make you hate LeBron. They will make you sick. You're absolutely right. Some of them final losses for LeBron were very unfair for him. His teams were very average. The only loss that I will give LeBron no slack for is his first loss against the Spurs. If you want to cut him slack for that one, we'll cut him slack for that one. Everything after that, I don't want to hear his teams were very average. BS. He still had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh when he lost to the Spurs. He was favored when he lost to the Mavericks. I get it. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love got hurt against the Warriors. You can probably give them a little bit of slack for that one. But if you're LeBron James, you can't beat Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. I don't know. I think Jordan might have figured that one out. But the only one I'll really give him no slack for is that first one. But all them other ones, I don't know, man. You LeBron James, you're supposed to be the GOAT. Figure it out. JJ Barrera was cooking him too. Yeah. That's because LeBron's ball dominant. But the Miami Heat have resurrected their franchise since LeBron has left. That's because they have leadership, they have a plan, they have focus in that organization. But that's because teams, first of all, teams sell their. Look what he did when he went to Cleveland. Cleveland traded away all their assets to get Kevin Love. Look what he did when he went to the Lakers. They traded all their assets to get Anthony Davis. Teams sell themselves to acquire what LeBron needs in return. So of course, people, come on. Of course, the teams are going to be average when LeBron leaves because LeBron makes you trade the half of the team to get the other all-stars in that you want to play with them. I mean, that's like a given. And when the entire offense is focused around one guy, yeah, your team's going to fall off. When Coach Carl went zone and had no answer. Also, Jason Barrera started locking up LeBron was disgusting to see. That's your GOAT. Not saying you per se, but that's people's GOAT. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. LeBron choked. We were better than Dallas, way better. We should have went up 2-0, but it was immature at that point. Dame Lillard gives me that Allen Iverson feel. He's way bigger than AI though. Dame what 6'3"? Plus LeBron was up 2-1 versus that one too. That's why I say I can't really give him a pass for that one, even though I know he had some injuries dealing with in that series. But you were up 2-1. You're LeBron James, greatest player of all time. Come on, man. You can figure that out. You're supposed to. Basketball is a unique sport. One great player changes the entire franchise. All you need is one great player. Giannis Antetokounmpo has completely changed Milwaukee. Kawhi Leonard has changed the Spurs, Toronto, now the Clippers. One great player has an amazing impact. If LeBron is the GOAT, I'm not saying that you necessarily win that series, but maybe it should have went 7 games or something. I don't know. Hell, without Ray Allen, he would have lost another against the Spurs. Stop. Jordan would have never figured out how to play with Matthew Dellavedova. You must have didn't watch those early Bulls teams when he had nobody and was still getting to the playoffs. Oh, and by the way, averaging, 35. He wouldn't have had to play with Matthew Dellavedova. He just would have told Matt. That's the difference between Jordan and LeBron. LeBron wants to try to learn how to play with you. LeBron wants to try to learn how to play with you. Jordan didn't have to know how to play with Matthew Dellavedova. You know what he would have told Matthew Dellavedova? Get the hell out the way. I'm about to average 40 on these boys. That's the difference, man. A Florida linebacker just said Oklahoma isn't on the Gators level. Okay. That's going to be a shootout. A Florida linebacker, like if them boys play any defense over there. Get the hell out of here. In 2018, that LeBron team that played against 4 Hall of Famers, put anybody in LeBron's place. There's probably only 3 Hall of Famers. People that are putting, I already know where you're going with this. People who are putting Draymond Green in the Hall of Fame are absolutely dumb. Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer. Klay Thompson's probably a Hall of Famer. Steph Curry's definitely a Hall of Famer. Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. Anyway, last time I checked, LeBron James, I don't feel sorry for LeBron James because LeBron James created that monster. Last time I checked, Dirk Nowitzki beat 3 Hall of Famers for his title. And who'd he have? Oh, a 40-year-old Jason Kidd. A Jason Terry, who's not a Hall of Famer. JJ Barrera, who's not a Hall of Famer. Dirk Nowitzki found a way to beat 3 Hall of Famers. And LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. And I would consider Chris Bosh a Hall of Famer if you check his numbers before he finally had to call it quits. The guy was averaging like 20 plus and 10. That's Hall of Fame numbers. So, like that argument y'all make, I can make the same argument for Dirk Nowitzki and other guys. LeBron can only win when all the cards are in his favor. That's all I'm saying, bro. Again, no, his greatest achievement was that 3-1. That was dope to watch that and watch the way the Warriors. He took the Warriors' heart in that series. They wanted no parts of him. That's it. Easily, obviously, his best ring. Really? You don't like Dre? Defensive player of the year, 3-time champ. What do you think he could get? Let me ask you this. Draymond Green is in a unique position to where he's playing with two of the best shooters of all time. So they use them as sort of their de facto point guard, solid defensive player. You put Draymond Green on, I don't know, name another team. The Phoenix Suns. Is he a Hall of Famer? See, Kevin Love, before he went to Cleveland, Kevin Love was averaging like 25 and 15. That's Hall of Fame. Same thing with Chris Bosh before he went and played with LeBron in Miami and Toronto. Averaging stuff like that. See, those guys are Hall of Fame because you could see, when they were the focal point, they dominated. What would Draymond's numbers be if he played again with the Phoenix Suns, with the Minnesota Timberwolves, with the New York Knicks? Draymond Green ain't carrying no franchise. He's no Hall of Fame player. Todd Pope, what's up? I look at him like Rodman. Rodman got in right by defense. He's nowhere near Rodman's level on rebounding or defense. He's just not. Not in my opinion. Maybe people might really like him. I don't. I think Draymond Green's very overrated. Really benefited from playing with Steph and Clay. If he was such a Hall of Fame player, why is it that with when Klay Thompson's been out these last 2 years, why hasn't Golden State been able to pick up that slack with a guy like Draymond Green? Draymond Green's still playing, right? That's just me, man. One thing I know about Dennis Rodman, everywhere he went, he put up in crazy rebounding numbers and was a monster on defense everywhere he went. I just don't see if Draymond went somewhere else. I don't think he'd be effective like that. I thought Draymond would have evolved, but he never did. His game never evolved at all, but it never had to. Never had to because of who he played with. 3-time NBA champ, defensive player of the year, 3-time first team NBA All-Pro, 3-time All-Star, isn't Hall of Famer. Wow. I got to fact check you. There's no way Draymond Green is a first team NBA is a 3-time first team NBA All-Pro. I don't believe that for 1 second. Over who? Over who? I gotta check. Let's check out Draymond Green's accolades. There's no way Draymond Green is first team NBA All-Pro at the forward position over guys like Giannis, Kawhi, KD. Anthony Davis. What really? Or maybe I'm tripping. And even if he does have those accolades, I don't give a damn. I can watch the game and tell you he benefited from playing in a very unique system with two great all-time shooters. But he still ain't Hall of Fame to me. But I'm about to see his accolades here. So we know he's a 3-time champion. All-Star team is whatever you want to make of that. I think the fans vote that crap, so whatever. You can make whatever you want of that. So he's never made the NBA All-First team. He's made one NBA All-Second team, one NBA All-Third team. He has one Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, he's a 3-time Defensive First team, which is fine. And he's been on the NBA Second team. Those are his stats. Or those are his accolades.
in the second half. And
Those are his accolades.
You said they snatched the momentum here in this second half.
Tronte play fake.
As far as his stats go, Draymond Green is a career 8 points, 6 points, and 6 assists. 8, 6, and 6. That's your Hall of Fame guy. 8, 6, and 6. So he has all those great defensive accolades. That's cool. He's a career 8, 6, and 6 guy. Solid numbers. That ain't Hall of Fame. But that's just me. That's just me. LeBron told Love and Bosh to sit in the corner. Both were they turned them into 7-foot 3-point shooters, man. Rodman can't carry no team. No, he didn't. Rodman did not carry a team. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. But when you're considered the best ever, you got to be in the Hall of Fame. When you're considered the best rebounder, Rodman was 6'6" and the best rebounder of all time. Best defensive player of all time. Rodman's easily a Hall of Famer because he's the best at all time of 2 categories. The way Draymond plays, he did not carry the franchise. The one thing about the Warriors, with the exception of KD, were all drafted by Golden State. And once again, without Kyrie, LeBron might have failed. Kyrie's the one that hit the clutch shot for him again. Yeah, absolutely right there. We forgot all about that fact. Celtics Bucks game's good right now. He probably mean all defensive. Yeah, that's what he meant, I think, all defensive. But again, I'm just talking about, you can have all those accolades and some of them aren't, your Hall of Fame is 8, 6, and 6. That's your Hall of Fame. To me, that's not Hall of Fame. That's just me, though. Wouldn't this have been a good year to increase the college football playoff to 18? I thought this would have been a good year to give it a shot, test it out, see how it goes. I definitely thought that. Everybody praising Braun. LeBron was a broken man when he arrived in Miami, but we won a ring before he got there.
These are difficult times.
Oh. But that was a good basketball discussion. And that's about all I got tonight. So I'm going to let you guys go. I will see you guys after the holidays. I won't be doing anything tomorrow or Christmas or Saturday for that matter. But after the holidays, we're going to get back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks everybody who tuned in tonight. Awesome basketball discussion. My Knicks lose. So y'all can laugh it up at me like always. The Knicks always lose. The Fighting Taggart seem to be getting whooped. And LeBron's not the GOAT. But respect to the man. I think he's one of the all-time great players. It's so LeBron fans are so funny. Like when you say somehow you calling him one of the all-time great players is a level of disrespect to them. Man's one of the all-time greats. He's just not Michael Jordan. It is what it is. Told you, man. Anthony Hardaway was a bad man. But anyway, thanks everybody who tuned in. And I'm going to call it a night here tonight. Stay classy. Sniper says LeBron will forever be the GOAT. Who's your football GOAT? Football's an entirely different sport, my man. I can't name a single greatest player of all time. There's too many different positions that do too many different things. Football is the ultimate team game because in too many ways do you have to count on other players to do your job, to do their job for you to be successful, right? It's so hard. I'll just run down my certain positions just off the top before I head out. We'll do that. To me, I know people aren't going to agree with this. To me, my GOAT at quarterback is Peyton Manning. Running back is Barry Sanders. People might not agree with this one either. Wide receiver, to me, is Randy Moss. I know people love some Jerry Rice. I know Jerry Rice has the resume. I know he has the longevity. I know he's got the stats. When I just look at a receiver, and if I said I'm making a receiver it's going to be Randy Moss. Tight end, I never really gave it much thought. Probably Gronk. Dion at DB, Ed Reed at safety. Probably Ray Lewis at linebacker. Even though I think Derek Brooks is slept on for some reason in that GOAT debate. And then again, you got Lawrence Taylor, probably the best pass rusher of all time. Yeah, I knew somebody would come out and say Tom Brady must have died. Tom Brady didn't die. To me, it's just Peyton Manning. But Tom Brady definitely has the resume and all those accolades as well. I'm just a Peyton Manning guy. Shannon Sharp was really dope. Shannon Sharp was good. Tony Gonzalez was good, though. You know. That's just a few positions I can think of.
I'm just frustrated and I'm mad at myself.
Yeah, that's all I got. But we can definitely do one of those conversations about football. Is just, you know, there's just no one GOAT to me in football, though. You can't do it. You can't do it. But that's all I got, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you didn't hit the like button on your way in, hit the like button on your way out. Stay classy, Seminoles. Even the Hurricane fans, you know what? I still consider y'all Seminoles on this channel. You're a part of Seminole Nation. Thank everybody for tuning in. Again, hit the like button. We out ya, and I will see you guys after the holidays. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Have a happy holidays. Have a safe holidays. I want to see everybody back here after the holidays. Don't go out there and do anything too crazy. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Enjoy your New Year's, all of that. See you guys later, man. We are out. Yeah.